Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute roller coaster, nearly 2-decade-long journey of a true icon. Of course, we're talking about Virat Kohli. But look, we aren't just going to sit here and play a highlight reel of his greatest cover drives. No, this is a story about survival at the absolute pinnacle of professional sports. It's really about this idea that you have to evolve or perish. And honestly, that's a lesson that hits home whether you're facing down a 90-mile-an-hour fast bowler or, just trying to navigate your own career. Let's get right into it. 85. I want you to let that number sink in for a second. 85 international centuries. We're talking about a scale of greatness that's almost hard to wrap your head around. It's a staggering figure that literally puts him in the absolute rarest of air in cricket history. Across every format of the game, the man has just been this relentless, unparalleled run-scoring machine. But here's the real question, right? And this actually frames our whole explainer today. How does a prodigy actually maintain that level of dominance for almost 20 years in a sport that never stops changing? Think about it. Cricket back when he debuted in 2008 was wildly different from the game in 2026. The rules change, the formats shift, bowlers get way smarter. So raw talent, that only gets you so far. The true secret to this kind of crazy longevity is absolutely 100% reinvention. Section 1. The Rise of King Kohli. Okay, picture it. It's 2008, he makes his one-day international debut against Sri Lanka at just 19 years old, and he's actually playing as a makeshift opener. Fast forward just a bit to 2011, and he's already a Cricket World Cup winner. He scored a super crucial 35 in the final and shared this vital 83-run partnership with Gautam Gambhir. Then, boom, by 2014, he takes over the reins as the full-time Test captain right after MS Dhoni steps down during the Aussie tour. I mean, that is a meteoric ascent. He wasn't just participating in the world cricket, he was completely taking it over. And during the 2010s, his dominance was, honestly, almost frightening. He surpassed 10,000 ODI runs in record time. And to put that into perspective, he did it in an unbelievable 54 fewer innings than his idol, Sachin Tendulkar. 54 fewer! He then became the fastest player ever to hit 20,000 international runs, and the absolute peak of this whole era was being officially named the ICC Male Cricketer of the Decade for 2011 to 2020. I really want you to keep these staggering heights in mind because it makes the next chapter of his story hit that much harder. Section 2. Captaincy, Pressure, and Slump. So things start to snowball, right? We've got this cascade of events. Step 1. Late 2021, he steps away from the T20 international captaincy. Step 2, by December 2021, he gets removed from the ODI captaincy. And that was a move that played out super publicly and came with a lot of obvious friction with the selectors. Finally, Step 3, January 2022, right after a tough series defeat in South Africa, he steps down as Test captain. The incredibly heavy crown of leadership across all these formats, totally combined with this massive, unprecedented 1,020-day century drought, well, it had finally taken its toll. But listen to this vulnerable admission he made at the 2022 Asia Cup, literally right after he finally broke that massive 1,020-day drought. He said, "Last 2.5 years have taught me a lot. I'm going to turn 34 in a month, so those angry celebrations are a thing of the past." This is huge. It's a massive turning point. We're seeing a direct bridge from the hyper-aggressive, fiery youth we all knew to a much more mature, calculated player. He even admitted he had to dig out old videos, analyze his own game, and really figure out what was going on inside his own head. Section 3. The Record-Breaking Resurgence. Sachin Tendulkar. 49 ODI centuries in 438 innings. Virat Kohli, 50 ODI centuries in just 277 innings. Actually, scratch that. Just let the sheer math of that hit you. 277 innings. During the 2023 World Cup semifinal against New Zealand, on this massive high-pressure stage in Mumbai, he broke his idol's seemingly impossible record. This wasn't just a return to form. No, this was an elevation into unparalleled sporting history. And then we get to this ridiculous number, 765. That is the staggering, record-breaking run tally he racked up in that single 2023 World Cup tournament. He averaged over 95. He was named player of the tournament, basically proving, without a shadow of a doubt to the entire world, that the slump was well and truly over. Moving right along to Section 4, Evolving to Conquer the IPL. Okay. Here is the absolute smoking gun of his reinvention. CricViz tracked this steady, year-over-year jump in his attacking shot percentage. Back in 2021, it was sitting at 40.6%.
He was playing a very traditional, steady anchor role. But watch it climb. 50.3% in 2022, up to 64.3% in 2024, and by 2026, it hits an incredible 72.8%. He realized that the modern T20 game massively rewards early attacking, so he completely adapted. He transformed from a cautious anchor to an out-and-out aggressor.
So why does a stat like that actually matter? Well, let's look at how this shift fundamentally changed his team. The tactical benefits for RCB were just massive. It meant way faster power play starts. It totally reduced the pressure on the middle order hitters so they weren't constantly having to play catch-up. It drastically improved their overall run rate momentum, and it allowed Kohli to just dictate aggressive match tempos right from ball one. This definitely wasn't just about personal stats. This was a highly calculated shift to optimize everything for team success. And the climax of this whole franchise reinvention? 2025. Royal Challengers Bengaluru finally wins their first ever IPL title after an agonizing 18-year drought. And who was foundational to pulling that off? Kohli, obviously. He scored 657 runs that season with an average of 54.75, a strike rate over 144, hit 8 50s in wins, and contributed a super vital 43 runs in the final against Punjab Kings. His statistical reinvention directly delivered that elusive championship.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate cricket legacy.
We are currently witnessing a really graceful, strategic exit from the game. He retired from T20 internationals on the ultimate high after lifting the 2024 T20 World Cup, seamlessly passing the baton to the next generation. Then he stepped away from Test cricket in May 2025, right after a final Border Gavaskar Trophy. By shutting those formats, he's selectively managing his final years, while remaining highly active and still incredibly dangerous in one-day internationals and IPL franchise cricket. And speaking of the IPL, just consider this one last staggering number, 8,661. That's his all-time leading IPL run scorer tally. When you put that into perspective, over almost 2 decades, playing exclusively for one single franchise, the sheer volume of his output, his consistency, and just his physical durability, it's been nothing short of astonishing. So I really want to leave you with this thought-provoking question. In an era of highly specialized cricket, where players are focusing on just 1 or 2 formats to survive, will we ever see an athlete completely reinvent themselves across all formats, quite like Virat Kohli did? The guy went from a fiery prodigy to a dominant captain, survived a totally crushing multi-year slump, and re-emerged as a statistically transformed modern T20 champion. It's a true testament to the power of never, ever standing still. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep evolving, and I'll catch you next time. Welcome.